Hello friends, welcome back to RGM English Literature and Language. Today we are going to publish our question answer set number 5 for the UGC NET upcoming exam. We have picked some important questions from June 2012 to July 2018. Question answer set number 5 UGC NET JRF English. Previous year's question from June 2012 to July 2018. Let's start. To refer to the unresolvable difficulties a text may open up, Derrida makes use of term aporia. Who among the following playwrights scripted the film Shakespeare in Love? Tom Stoppard. Arrange the following in the chronological order: Percy's Relics of Ancient English Poetry, French Revolution, Mary Wollstonecraft's Vindication of the Rights of Women, and Lyrical Ballads. Next is, which of the following employs a narrative structure in which the main action is relayed second hand through an enclosing fame story? Heart of Darkness. The Irish dramatic movement was heralded by such figures as W. B. Yeats, Lady Gaga, Edward Martin. Now some questions from December 2012. Identify the work below that does not belong to the literature of the 18th century. It is Advancement of Learning. Which among the following is a place through which John Bunyan's Christian does not pass? Mount Helicon. The period of Queen Victoria's reign is 1837 to 1901. One of the following texts was published earlier than 1955. Identify the text. William Emerson's Collected Poems. Who among the poets in England during the 1930s had left-leaning tendencies? W. H. Auden, Louis MacNeice, Cecil D. Lewis. June 2013. In Pinter's birthday party, Stanley is given a birthday present. What is it? A drum. How does Lord Jim end? Jim is shot through the chest by Doraemon. Where I lacked a political purpose, I wrote lifeless books. To which of the following authors can we attribute the admission? George Orwell. Next is, modernism has been described as being concerned with disenchantment of our culture with culture itself. Who is the critic? Lionel Trilling. Next, only that film which fluttered on the great still flutters there, the soul unquiet thing. The above lines are quoted from Frost at Midnight from December 2013. Dash is the word is like a bell to toll me back from thee to my soul self. Which word? Forlorn. In poems like The Altar and Easter Wings, Dash exploits Dash. George Herbert exploits typographic space. The novel tells the story of twin brothers Waldo and Arthur. Which is the novel? The Solid Mandala. Who among the following was not a member of the Scribblers Club? Joseph Addison. Number 20 is, Dash is a theological term brought into literary criticism by Dash. Epiphany. James Joyce. Now some important questions from June 2014. The separation of styles in accordance with class appears more consistently in Dash than in medieval works of literature and art. Shakespeare. Had we but world enough and time, this coyness lady were no crime. This statement is an example of irony. A Spenserian stanza has 8 iambic pentameters. Next is, the artist may be present in his work like God is creation, invisible and almighty, everywhere felt but nowhere seen. Henry James is talking here about the artist's impersonality. Next is, Derrida's American disciples were Geoffrey Hartman, Paul Deman, J. Hills Miller. Now some questions from December 2014. Two of the following lists are John Osborne, Kingsley Amis. Lawrence Sterne's Tristram Shandy contains 9 volumes. Which of the following statement is not true of Areopagitica? It pleads for British privileges regarding free trade. Thomas Hardy's last major novel was Jude the Obscure. The Hind and the Panther, transferred to the story of the country mouse and the city mouse, is a satire on John Dryden. Now some important questions of June 2015. Samuel Pepys began his diary on New Year's Day 1660. On which of the following authors has Peter Ackroyd not written a biography? W.B. Yeats. Which group of the following poets was called the Auden group because they developed a style and viewpoint similar to that of W.H. Auden? It is Lewis, Macnish, C.D. Lewis, Stephen Spender. Next one is, when one line of poetry runs into the next with no punctuation to solve the reading, it is a case of enjambment. Next is, which of the following is not a characteristic of the Victorian age? It is the growth of rural traditions and movement from large cities. Now from December 2015. Which of the author wrote Studies in the History of the Renaissance? Walter Peter. Whom does Harriet Smith finally marry in one of Jane Austen's novels? Mr. Martin. A poet once referred to an old man as a tattered coat upon a stick. That is an example of metaphor. Which of these is not a pastoral elegy? In Memoriam. Which of the following 16th century poets was not a courtier? George Puttenham. Now some important questions from July 2016. Which British university figures in William Wordsworth's Pillow? Cambridge. Who is the author of A Woman Killed with Kindness? Thomas Heywood. In William Congreve's The Way of the World, identify the speaker of the line, one's cruelty is one's power, and when one parts with one's cruelty, one parts with one's power. Millamant. T.S. Eliot found spiritual support in Christianity. By what name is Gulliver known in Brobdingnag? Grildrig. Now some questions from January 2017. Identify from the following the work Neeraj Chandra Chaudhary called the funniest novel in English language with an Indian theme. It is Kim. Who is the author of the poem The Defense of Lucknow, dealing with the siege of Lucknow, one of the terrible incidents of the Indian Mutiny? Alfred Lord Tennyson. Who among the following theorists holds that metaphor and metonymy are the two fundamental structures of language? Roman Jacobson. Which among the following texts can be characterized as a lesbian Bildungsroman? It is Janet Winterson's Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit. Pose the Raven mourns the death of Pose. Lost? Lenore. Now some questions from November 2017. In Frances Burne's novel, Evelina, the eponymous heroine comes out in society in two locations. They are Bristol and London. Next one is, which line by Shakespeare is repeated several times in Virginia Woolf's novel Mrs. Dalloway. Fear no more the heat of the sun, nor the furious winter's rages. Next one is identify the important theatres of the Elizabethan period. Globe, Swan. In which poem does Matthew Arnold express the dilemma of strangers from the Grenade Chartreuse? Who made the comment that all modern American literature comes from one book by Mark Twain called Huckleberry Finn? It is Ernest Hemingway. Now, some important questions from July 2018. Which narrative poem by Lord Tennyson presents the story of a fisherman turned merchant sailor who after a shipwreck is marooned on a desert island? It is Enoch Arden or Enoch Arden. In Memorial Verses, Matthew Arnold pays tribute to three great poets. Who are they? Goethe, Wordsworth and Byron. Who among the following English playwrights wrote screenplays on the novels such as Marcel Proust's In Search of Lost Time, John Fowles's French Lieutenant's Woman and Margaret Atwood's Handmaid's Tale? It is Harold Pinter. Number 59. The years in English literary history between 1649 and 1660 are known as the Commonwealth period. In Arkenarayan's Swami and Friends, which game offers Swami the best kind of emotional release from the strains and pressures of disagreeable circumstances? Cricket. To get more videos like this, stay connected with us by subscribing our channel. Thank you.